racial discrimination, but do go on.
Why was the only coloured person in Brookside killed?
I've no idea. Would you like to ask Brookside? I didn't shoot her.
No, I've got a good case here, right?
You've got a good case?
Yeah.
I suggest you put your luggage in it and pig off somewhere else with it. Ring Brookside and ask them. Hello to someone with, hopefully, half an ounce of intelligence. Stephen? Hello, Stephen. Once more, in the hope that he's got the wit to know we're talking to him. Hello, Stephen. Oh, well done.
Hello?
Round of applause for Stephen, who's finally woken up. What do you want? You don't want anything. Well, you've managed to get it. Hello, Dennis.
I'd like to reply to Dan Dare, the manhunter from, I don't know where he came from.
Dan Dare?
Yeah,
Are you the Mekon?
No, he was objecting to abattoirs. He was on about vegetarianism. What I would like to know...
When did all this take place? I don't recall speaking to Dan Dare.
Sorry, last Thursday.
Last Thursday? And you expect me to remember somebody called Dan Dare from last Thursday?
Well, he was objecting to meat. What I would like to know is where would he get his meat from if it wasn't for abattoirs?
Well, I think the point he was making was that people who eat meat ought really to do the killing themselves.
Well, I used to be...
He doesn't actually want meat.
Well, fair enough, that's good to him.
Well, when you say, where will he get his meat from, he doesn't want any, so he won't have the problem, will he?
Yeah, but he was objecting to everybody else eating meat.
No, he was objecting, first of all, to people eating meat, but he was also objecting to the fact that people like me, who do eat meat, do not go out and kill it ourselves.
Well, so does 90% of the population. No?
Yes, he was objecting to that, but 90% is an unfortunate figure because it's inaccurate. 90% of the population are not meat eaters. More than 15% of the population, I am told by those in the know, are vegetarian. However, that's another story.
Disagree with that.
I don't care how much you disagree with it, you will have to quote the statistics from the statistics office, not from me.
Well, can you imagine people going out tomorrow, killing their own meat?
No, I cannot, but I'm not Dan Dare, as you say his name was.
Well, he was Dan something or other.
Oh, I see, and you gave him the name Dan Dare.
Well,
that was very kind of you. Anyway, Dennis, there you are, you're totally wrong, but it was nice of you to join us. Hello, Paul, what do you want?
Hi, I recently went in for a YTS.
I can hardly hear you, and I don't talk about YTSs anyway, because I'm sick to the back teeth of them. Chris, hello.
Hello, why do you think that...
I don't think anything.
Why do you think that the age limit for going in a Wakeham's club is 18 when you start work at 16-year-old?
I've no idea, but perhaps it's because you're not a man until you're 18. Perhaps it should be a working child's club. Perhaps what they want is a creche club for people like you, and that would solve it, wouldn't it? Les, hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'd just like to make a point about South Africa. The lady was talking about South Africa before.
What's the point you'd like to make?
Well, I think it's abysmal, the situation out there, that a government of white people should be able to rule the black population.
The thing I'm fascinated by is that Dozy Cow believes that the white people were born there originally, that they are the indigenous population.
Well, that's totally wrong.
I know it is. I mean, the woman's insane.
Well,
but what do you expect from someone that's actually lived in that disgusting atmosphere?
Yeah, well, I think that really the pressure should be brought to bear on all the governments to possibly have a total ban, on the imports and exports into the country to force the government.
Don't be silly. Good Lord, governments taking action, they don't do that. They just lean all over sportsmen. Everybody knows governments are wimpy when it comes to work.
Yeah, well, surely something should be done, like some pressure ought to be brought to bear by somebody. Because the situation is...
Well, there is. We don't play cricket with them. And we don't play rugby with them. Or at least we get spat on if we do. I mean, what more do you want from a government?
Well, we want action, that's what we want.
Yeah, bloody right we do, but you're never going to get it out of these lot. Or any other government, for that matter.
Well, could the Court of European for Human Rights not do something about it?
Probably could if it was in Europe, but I don't think they're going to join Europe, do you?
Not really, no.
All right.
Okay,
thank you very much, Les. Sheila, don't go away.
Take your scrap to CSM, Preston's top scrap metal men. They pay a better price, so this is our advice. Go to CSM.
Turn your scrap metal into cash. Best prices 6 days a week at Carlton Street Metals off File Road, Preston. Phone 729949.
Go to CSM. CSM.
We simply don't have time to do all the shopping today.
Of course we do. Look, we only need a couple of birthday cards and a box of chocks for Auntie Sarah.
I wanted some stationery.
And I promised Tony I'd buy him one of those new board games.
I could do with a new computer program and a couple of books and newspapers.
What about that record you said you'd buy me for my birthday?
See, I told you we couldn't get everything today.
Yes, we can. At John Menzies. They stock everything we need and more. It's like having 7 stores all under one roof.
John Menzies at Cleveland's, Preston, Wigan and Barrow.
Get down to Dutton Foreshore. Our reputation means a great deal.
Come and see the best new car bargains around at Dutton Foreshore, Preston, the country's largest Austin Rover dealer. Treat yourself to a shining C-registered car now, and we guarantee we'll give you the best part exchange price we possibly can. Come and see the best new cars and the best deals around at Dutton Foreshore's Corporation Street, Preston.
Don't you know that our reputation means a great deal?
For a tasty treat with a difference, try genuine Turkish kebabs from as little as £1.50 for a large Turkish doner kebab at the In-N-Out Kebab licensed restaurant and takeaway. Open every evening till 3 a.m. at 71A Dixon Road, Blackpool. That's the In-N-Out Kebab licensed restaurant and takeaway. Call in for a free taste.
It's 18 minutes past 1, which means you've got about 40 minutes in which to join us on the Beswick phone in 0772 56 1000. The lines are all engaged, but keep trying anyway.
Nighttime on rainbows.
How do, Sheila?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I was wondering, did anybody ever let you know that the royal family always use a red carpet and not any other colour?
No, they didn't.
Oh.
Are you going to?
No.
Go back to bed then. What are you getting up to tell me that? Hey, I shall look it up. I shall make a note and look it up. I'm bound to have it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay, thanks.
Smart as out. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Peter, how do?
Hello, Peter. I've already spoken to you 3
No,
times.
you're Peter. I'm Allan.
Sorry. Hello, Alan. I've already spoken to you 3 times this evening. I've been working up here for a year. I finish end of next week. I was just wondering if there's any chance of being able to come around and have a look at your wonderful radio station before I go back to Warwickshire.
Not via me, no.
Well, can I just say I've appreciated your programme very much, and I've enjoyed...
Well, it's very kind of you. We don't need all that. Go back to Warwickshire. Hello to Lorraine.
Hello. I'd just like to know why you've got to pay an adult fare in the pictures of 15, but when you're 16, you've got to pay an adult fare on the bus, but you can't get in the pub until you're 18.
I've no idea.
Well, there must be some reason.
There must be indeed. I was telling you I didn't know what it was, not that there wasn't one.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The line in Spain falls mainly on the plane. Jack, I'll do to you.
Hello, Alan. I think they should bring back capital punishment.
I think they should too, and I think they should start with you. Hello, Colin.
Hello. I'd like to talk about racial discrimination.
What would you like to say about it?
Do you think that blacks should...
That's a question. What would you like to say about it?
Well, I think that blacks should be took out of Britain.
Took out of Britain?
Well,
who should took 'em out? Who should took 'em out of Britain?
The National Front.
The National Front?
Yeah.
The National Front is a load of cretinous half-wits with shaved heads usually, but the trouble is they left a gap where their brains should have been. The National Front is a despicable organisation worth only peeing on. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello? Alan?
Yes?
Come here. You're great.
I know I'm great. Hello, Gary. Gary, would you like to stop mumbling and tell us what you've got to say?
Right, I've got this letter, Alan.
A letter?
Yeah, and it's off me mother. My mother's gave it me. She doesn't understand it.
Your mother doesn't understand. Was it addressed to your mother?
Yeah, well, it's got this phone number on, you see.
I see.
Blackpool 3.
We don't do telephone numbers on this programme. I'm extremely sorry, but that's how it is. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, well, it's just about this phone, you know, this phone number. And well, she's had a bit of trouble with it, you know what I mean?
With the phone number?
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
see.
this massage parlour, you see.
No, it's a massage parlour.
Taylor's, yeah.
Yes, very good. Good night, cretin. Hello, Lindsay.
Hello. My brother was murdered 4 weeks today, and they haven't still released his body. Could you tell me why?
I do not know why, Lindsay.
Well, he was murdered, and they've got the two for the murder, you see.
Yes.
But, you know, don't you think it's enough upset for the family?
The answer to that is, obviously, it's enough upset for the family, but the process of law is very slow, very complicated, and there may be some reason why the body cannot yet be released. And I can only sympathise with you, really. I suggest that it is possible, against the wishes of the police, if they're the people holding the body in terms of control of it anyway, it is possible to get that body released from them, but you will need the permission, if I remember correctly, of a court.
Yeah. Well, the due to appear in court again on Wednesday, the two for the murder. So, both one's out on 40,000 bail.
Yes, well, we don't need to get too many details, because then we'll start talking about individual cases that we can identify, and if we do that, we're committing subjudice, which we're not required to do, or indeed forbidden to do.
Okay,
but, Lindsay, I don't know the answer. I wish I did.
Okay, then.
All right, love.
Thank you.
You have my sympathy. Hello, Robbie. Robbie's disappeared. Perhaps it's the wisest move he's made all night. Hello, James.
Hello. I'd like to talk about nuclear bombs.
What would you like to say about them?
I'd just like to say it's a bit stupid, you know, having nuclear bombs aiming at each other.
Why do you think it's stupid?
Well, I mean, the programs they put on and that.
The programs?
Yeah.
What's the programs got to do with nuclear bombs? Nuclear bombs don't control the television, not to my knowledge anyway.
Yeah, but the idea the people are supposed to be giving you, I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure it suits you. But when you say the ideas that people are supposed to be giving you, it's just stupid, does that mean anything?
Yeah, I mean...
Would you like to tell me what it means? Because it doesn't mean anything to me. I realise that's for failing on my part, but, you know, some help from you would be appreciated.
Yeah, well, I mean, the programs that they put on the telly, I mean, it's supposed to be giving you information on things like nuclear bomb, which are all, I think they're just rubbish.
The bombs or the programs?
The programs about the bombs, I think...
Are you telling me, do correct me if I'm wrong, James, but I seem to get the impression that you're saying you don't know enough about it.
What I'm saying is, the information the people are giving you from the television programs are just not true.
Not true?
I don't think... I just don't think they're not true at all.
Well, that was nice of you to tell it, James. Thank you very much indeed. I don't know about you, but I need to lie down. How do Karen?
Good morning. Can you tell me if you had a speaking part in Brookside, please? And if so, who was you?
It wasn't a speaking part, no. I did shout obscenities through the letterbox along with every other supposed journalist.
Oh.
I was just one of the pack of hounds banging on their door and window.
Oh, I see. Thanks very much.
They don't let me have speaking parts because I'm crap. All right. Ta-ra. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'd just like to talk about this racial discrimination bit and just like to stand up for all these sort of coloured people in this country.
Well, that's very kind of you, I'm sure.
All these people that seem to slag all the coloured people off. It just makes me wonder how many of these people that slag the coloured people off would do the jobs that these coloured people do.
You are a patronising creep. Get off my programme. Hello, John.
Hello. I'm just ringing up to say, you're a complete bore as far as I'm concerned.
Then turn off, you daft swine. Hello, Emma.
Hello. That rather beautiful song of Mike Harding's you put on earlier.
The old green iron lamp.
Yeah. Do you have the choice in the records that go on the show?
Do I?
Yeah.
And that one was my choice.
Do you...
But I very rarely bother to choose.
Oh, I gather you like Mike Harding. I wonder, have you heard him singing The January Man?
Yes, I've actually played it.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, is there any chance of you playing it again sometime in the next week?
But I don't know, really. It's a matter of remembering. I may do.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Requests for Mike Harding songs. There can't be many of those about. How do... Anyway.
Oh, not a pretty sight. And where were you last night?
Oh, Chateau Plonk. Oh.
Chateau Plonk? Alka-Seltzer. For headache with upset stomach, be ready with the Plink Plink Fizz.
It's
the big switch on. Make sure you're here. Wednesday, August the 14th at Morecambe Leisure Park. The fun starts at 7:30 with lots of entertainment for all the family. You'll see Amos Brearley from Emmerdale Farm switching on the Morecambe illuminations with a little help, of course, from Mr. Henry Wilkes at around 9:45. Come and join them on August the 14th for the big switch on. Ring Morecambe 421444 to ask about tickets.
Hello, Louise.
Hello. I'd just like to say that I went abroad last Easter, and
Well done, Louise. How do, Albert?
Hello?
Hello.
I'd like to speak about corporal punishment, please.
And what would you like to say about it?
Well, I think
You think what?
I think corporal punishment should be brought back.
What is corporal punishment?
When you get punished, sod off.
Okay. Hello, Stevie.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I'd like to talk to you about terrorism.
Terrorism.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, the British government and the American government, don't you think, like Nicaragua, don't you think the Americans are using terrorism on them?
I suppose it could be viewed as that. I don't know whether the Americans would own up to being in Nicaragua committing acts of terrorism. They merely support with arms and, to a certain extent, money, one of the regimes there. Can you tell me what this has got to do with the British government? You went on to say the British and the American government. I'd be interested to know their connection with Nicaragua.
Well, the British, Margaret Thatcher, as you know, follows Reagan wherever he goes.
I don't remember having a bowel operation.
She follows... Anyway, she's got sanctions. British government has got sanctions on Nicaragua.
Yes.
Now, that was a freely elected government.
What's... When you say sanctions, what's sanctions got
Well, it's
to
only
do...
a population of 2 million.
Yeah, let me ask the question before you answer it. You may find the answer doesn't fit the question. Strange, isn't it? What have economic sanctions got to do with terrorism?
Well, surely, it's a freely elected government of Nicaragua.
No, that doesn't answer the question, does it? The question isn't specifically about Nicaragua. You came on to talk about terrorism. So if I haven't mentioned any terrorism in the acceptable sense, you've got the disguised terrorism of supplying arms to a faction in Nicaragua, and then you suggest, or seem to suggest, it may be my failure to take implication correctly, but you seem to be suggesting that putting economic sanctions against Nicaragua is some form of terrorism. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. Well, they won't put sanctions on South Africa, will they? Because there's too much British incest in there.
That's nothing to do with whether putting economic sanctions on a country is terrorism or not.
No. Well, you've got, say, your Libyans.
Stevie,
Your hostages.
have you been drinking?
No.
You mean you're this thick without alcohol? Good Lord. Hello to Ian.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to talk about the British Safety Council banning the film Rambo with Sylvester Stallone.
The British Safety Council?
Yeah.
Did the British Safety Council, the kite mark, ban it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The British Safety Council, what did they say about it?
They said that we shouldn't have the right to see that sort
The British Safety Council said that. Do you know what the British Safety Council is?
The people who do... Well, I don't really know.
No, I rather thought that as well. Go to your library tomorrow and look it up and you'll find that you're talking nonsense. Hello, Carl.
Hello, Alan. Yes, I was wondering how you got your equity.
How I got mine?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. I used to do all sorts of different things in clubs.
Yes, well, I know a man who's trying his hardest to get his equity. He's 4-star karate, black belt at what he does. And, you know, I mean...
Well, perhaps he should threaten them.
Threaten them?
He's got all those qualifications in killing people.
Yeah, well, Alan?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, it's the Blondini gang. We're just wondering, like, because, He impersonates other people like you.
Does he indeed? Well, that's very kind of him.
Yeah, I know, but it bugs after a bit.
I'm sure it must bug after a bit. Are we making any progress in this conversation? I don't know how he's going to get his equity card, do I?
I know, but...
Nor do I care.
I was just wondering, like, because, you see... You know,
well, you have wondered, and you have an answer to your question. Have you any more questions you wish to put?
Yes. What are your views on people impersonating...
I do not give views like that.
You don't?
That's true, I don't. Okay. Hello to Morris.
Hello. Would it be possible for me to talk about motorcycle stuntmen?
Well, yes, if you feel inclined so to do, I'm sure we can bore people as long as it doesn't go on too long.
Yes, well, I was an avid fan of Evel Knievel.
Well, we can't talk about individuals, but seeing as he's dead, we will. Go on.
Well, I've grown to think now that he was a bit of a silly person, actually.
Well, perhaps you've grown up. Or well, perhaps you will do one day, but...
Obviously, yes, but...
Yes.
I think the latest stunt, what Eddie Kidd plans, is really taking stunt riding to the limit.
Well, that's the whole point of stunt riding, isn't it? To take it to the limit.
Yes, but...
Yes, but what?
I don't think there's any way, really, that he could ride all the way to Ethiopia with a meat.
I'll do to Robbie.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's regarding the point on the drug controversy on the programme that was on the other evening, regarding heroin and so on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just a bit disappointed and maybe disillusioned the way you do it. I know it's a bad situation and everything else, but there is milder drugs which are on the market or seem to be pushed around.
And
I just feel as if... all get out of this house. Oh, excuse me, Theo.
That lady wishes you would all get out of the house, so why don't you go? Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to talk to you about the 7-second delay that you have on the radio.
Well, you can't. It's boring. Hello to Willie. Hello, Willie.
Hello, Alan.
I used to be able to whistle me mine till I just trapped it in my zip. What can I do for you?
I'm just thinking... I was just thinking about old women and men and that.
I'm sure that's a curable disease.
No, what do you think about them getting beat up?
I thought you were thinking about them. Would you like to go laugh at somebody else, you stupid clown? Hello, Janet.
Hello, Alan?
Yes?
Well, I work in a chemist.
Somebody has to, yes.
Yes, well, at lunchtime, the chemist goes... At lunchtime, the chemist... I'm sorry about that, Alan.
You needn't be sorry.
Goes on his lunch break.
Well,
now,
one would expect him to, really.
Well, yes. Now, we do get customers in, and they ask for certain products, you know, like medicines.
Listed drugs, yes.
Well, no, not listed drugs.
I see.
Things like 100 paracetamol or things like that.
Which you have to
refuse.
annotate, yes.
They get so nasty with us that it is unbelievable. And I would just like to say to you that people just do not understand just how things are. We can't sell a bottle of Benylin or even castor oil, cod liver oil, if in large doses, if the chemist isn't there.
Well, that seems perfectly fair to me. What's your problem?
Well, the problem is the customers, they get so aggressive.
Well, why don't you tell this to your chemist in the hope that he moves his lunch hour and perhaps starts a little later or something?
We have done that.
And what does he say about it?
Well, he's moved his hours around. He goes from 12 till 1 or 1 till 2.
Well, perhaps you should shut the shop.
Well, he does. Well, no, the shop is shut. Really, he shuts.
What do you mean the shop's shut? How do these people, do they shout through the letterbox? Can I have 100 paracetamol, please?
No, this is in a big store.
I see.
The pharmacy...
Well, why don't you close...
small corner.
Well, why don't you close the pharmacy department then?
Pardon?
Why don't you close the pharmacy department?
But there are toiletries there, things like...
That wasn't what I said. I asked you, why do you not close the pharmacy department?
Would that be viable, do you think?
Well, I've no idea whether it'd be viable. I don't work in the shop.
No,
You're complaining that you get earache from your customers.
And we do.
I'm suggesting what you need to do is simply shut that part of the shop and say it's shut for an hour. He's gone for his lunch.
Which we do. That is the part of the shop that is shut. The part that we shut a part of the shop
Is this a separate part, physically separate from the rest of the shop?
No, it isn't physically separate.
Well, that's the confusion, isn't it? I mean, when you say this part of the shop's shut and you're actually stood in that part of the shop and prepared to sell them something else from that particular counter, it's hard for the customers to believe you.
Can I just explain? I have worked in many chemist shops
Yes.
since I left school.
Well done.
Well, no, I should say in 16 years I've worked in many chemist shops.
Very good. Is there any point in this?
No, can I just say that people come in the shop and they can buy toiletries.
Yes, we're aware of all that. We don't seem to be making any progress in this.
No,
what I'm suggesting to you is...
close the door.
That seems to make most sense to me. That will stop you all the problems, won't it? That will stop you the problems, won't it? Won't it? When you've studied the question, ring me back. Hello, Robert.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? I was just wondering, what is the point of having a nuclear war if nobody will win?
I've no idea.
Well,
have you come to a conclusion?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit stupid myself. I think we should just send them...
So you say there is no point in having a nuclear war if no one will win?
No.
Is there then any point in having nuclear weapons if we're not going to have a war and not going to win?
No. Well, there's no way we can get rid of them there, really, is there?
I've no idea.
We can dismantle.
Well, yes, we could dismantle them. That would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Very good. Good Lord, well, there's some thick people about. Hello, David. Hello again, David. Goodbye, David. Hello, Scott.
Hello. Alan, I'd like to talk to you about boxing.
Would you indeed?
Yeah.
We'll
About
talk.
the way how people fight in the ring for people's show.
Yes, I know what boxing is.
Yeah, no, but do you think he should be...
Well, you're not talking about it now, are you? You're doing a survey. What do you think about it, Scott?
I think he should be banned altogether.
Why?
Because people could get brain damage.
Yes, they could, but they are...
People's...
Yes, they could, and frequently do, but they have a free choice.
Yeah, but it's either they're trying to get more money out of it, what they're trying to...
What's wrong with that?
Damage to what they're trying to...
Footballers get damaged. They get leg and knee injuries that last them for the rest of their lives. Should we ban football?
Yeah, but...
Yes, but. Does that mean yes or no? I have trouble with this yes, but crap.
Fighting.
Yes, I know what boxing is. Yes, I know what boxing is. I'm trying to find out how far this concern for the voluntary participants goes. Does it include other physical sports?
Well, have you had any experience at boxing?
In actual fact, yes. I boxed a little in the school and I boxed a little in the army.
Fighting?
Sorry?
Fighting against other people or...
No, I did it on my own, which I think is why I won a lot. Well, of course it was against somebody, a daft sod. Who could it have been against? You can't box on your own, pillock. Now let me ask you, it is a dangerous sport, but surely if those people voluntarily take part, that is their right, is it not?
Well, I just think he should be banned altogether.
I see. Well, it's very good of you to put your rational point so clearly. Hello, whoever you call yourself, Chon Man Lee or something. Are you going to give me your proper name, or am I going to cut you off?
Konnichiwa, baby.
I'm going to cut you off. Worth finding out, wasn't it? Alan, what do you want?
Hello, I'd like to talk about guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs?
I had one as a pet. I unfortunately got run over.
Well, you should have looked where you were driving, fool.
A far, far better furniture store. Edmondson's of Blackburn, a far, far better furniture store. For lounge, dining room and bedroom furniture, for famous names in quality carpets, for all home furnishings. Edmondson's offers choice. Edmondson's gives first-class service, and Edmondson's guarantees value for money. All round a far, far better furniture store at Darwin Street, Blackburn. A far, far better furniture store. Edmondson's. Oh, you'll find fun, fun, fun for all the families. Fleetwood Pier, that's the place to be.
Give your family a great day out at Fleetwood Pier. There's free fishing, prize bingo, an adventure playground, Jolly's free house bar with a special family room for the kids, and all the latest fun machines and videos. There's fun for all the family at Fleetwood Pier. Open 7 days a week, every week of the year.
Fleetwood Pier, that's the place to be. Allan Beswick.
How do Sebastian?
Good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
My point is, why is it that several of your listeners are, well, to my knowledge, increasingly concerned with the problem of AIDS?
I do not know. How can I speak on their behalf?
I mean, surely you represent these listeners because they listen.
I represent nobody. I represent me. Full stop.
Well, seeing as how you represent me.
No, not you. Me.
No, me as in yourself.
Indeed.
Why is it that you are given a relatively large salary to spout off about issues of no meaning?
Perhaps the question is being put to the wrong person. I don't know why. I'm just glad that that is so. Perhaps you'd like to ask whoever it is that pays that particular salary.
Well, do you not feel that the people above you then are total and utter wankers?
No, I don't. I think you are, but that's another story. Hello, Steve.
Hello?
Hello?
I'd like to know if you're the one of the reporters on Brookside with the pink crash helmet.
No.
You weren't?
That's true. I weren't.
You sure?
I'm absolutely certain.
Oh yeah, you must be stupid then.
I must be stupid then. What a jolly little fellow you are, Stephen. Judith, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to speak about corporal punishment.
And what would you like to say about it?
I'd like to ask you a question that you...
I don't answer questions.
When you were saying that the people that said they was guilty, why were they let off?
Well, first of all, let us look at whether they were let off or not, but let us even before then establish that we were not talking at that time about corporal punishment, but about capital punishment.
I'm sorry, yes.
It's all right. They were let off, to use your terminology, because the Home Office, on investigation of the facts and the evidence at their trial, decided that that evidence was unsafe to warrant a conviction.
Yes, so why did they admit guilt in the first place?
Well, the four young men concerned, two of them I know for certain, I can't remember about the other two, but two of them were educationally subnormal anyway. And they were actually, in the words of the Home Office, their confessions were unreliable.
And what is classed as unreliable?
And that is a varying thing. No one can say what is classed as unreliable. It's a word that doesn't have an explanation in legal terms. The fact is, you test something, you look at it, and you say, no, that is not proved beyond reasonable doubt. And if it is not proved beyond reasonable doubt, then it is not reliable.
Yes, but why was they admitting guilt in the first place?
Well, I've already said that in the view of the Home Office, they admitted guilt because of unreasonable pressure by the police at the time, or
unreasonable pressure from the police.
That was the implication. The statement as I read it wasn't that specific.
So,
basically what it said was that confession, or those confessions, were unreliable.
So therefore, even if they was guilty, they got off it on a technicality.
That rather depends on whether serving a number of years in prison is getting off, point one. Point two, if it's a technicality to convict someone of a crime they did not commit because the confession was got via untoward methods, then okay, it was a technicality. Those are your words, not mine.
Well, how many people are let off on technicalities?
When you say let off, we have this problem, don't we? You see it, if a person walks free from a court, you see it that they have been let off. In this country, we have a system of justice whereby a person is innocent until they are proved. Well, it's rather more specific than that. Until they are proved beyond reasonable doubt. that they are guilty.
I understand that.
We then have another process which is known as judges' rules. This is not law, but judges' rules are a guideline for all people involved in court cases, and indeed to the police.
Yes.
And if judges' rules have been disobeyed, it is within the bounds of possibility that the defence will say, well, these circumstances were gained wrongly. And if that evidence was gained wrongly, then the court has the power to throw it out. Now, in the case in point, the evidence when it went to court was accepted. And indeed, when it went to appeal, if it went to appeal, I do not know, but if it went to appeal, when it went to appeal, the evidence was still accepted. Later, when the case was reviewed by the Home Office, as cases occasionally are, this one was reviewed because of particular pressure, mainly from the local MP of the lads concerned. When the case was reviewed by the Home Office decided that the evidence submitted to the court was insufficient, unreliable. Now, in this country, we have to have proof beyond reasonable doubt, and the process of obtaining evidence is as important as the evidence itself.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, but what if evidence is fixed? For sake of another word, what if it's fixed to help them out?
When you say fixed to help them out, you will have to be rather more specific. Let me try and find out what you mean. Do you mean if a organisation, a body, an individual tampers with evidence to make it look like these people are innocent?
Yes.
Well, in that case...
I'm not saying... yes, that's correct, yes.
In that case, it is the job of the police to present, or the prosecution in actual fact, to present its evidence, which in serious...
To try and produce it.
To produce its evidence, not try and produce it.
Yes, if it's fixed, the prosecution is trying to...
Judith, without wanting to be patronising to you, you don't understand the system, it would seem. What happens is the police have a crime reported to them or discover a crime.
That's correct.
They then use all their very skillful processes. I'm not being derogatory to the police at all. I've got admiration for the work they do. But they then use all the processes possible. They accumulate evidence, and eventually the accumulation of evidence points towards an individual, a group of individuals, or what have you.
Yes.
They then arrest those people, and they put the points to them.
Yes.
That's the simplistic way. And they then presumably charge them, and they put the evidence together. When they've got their evidence together, the prosecution are ready to go to court. The defence also see that evidence. It isn't a secret to them. They also see that evidence, and they look at it and examine it, and they see whether there are any flaws in it, and if there are, they try to find them and try to make the most of those flaws in court. That is as it should be.
Yes, but sometimes evidence is withheld before it's put before the jury.
Yes, but who is it withheld by?
It's withheld by the prosecution.
Well, if the prosecution chooses to withhold evidence, there's very little that anyone can do about it.
Yes, but if a crime has been committed previously by a person, and therefore that evidence isn't fetched forward.
Well, just a moment. It seems to me that you're dealing with two different things. The fact that a man has robbed a bank 15 times, when deciding whether he robbed this particular bank on this 16th time, the other 15 robberies are actually irrelevant.
Why?
Because just because a man has done a crime, crime A, it doesn't mean to say he did the other one. What we have to have, the police in this case, the prosecution, would have to prove that the 16th bank robbery was committed by the suspect beyond reasonable doubt. The time the other 15 offences come in, if they've been proven and been convicted, is when the person is actually punished, when his punishment is handed down. Then they say, well, this is the 16th time you've done it, obviously punishment is not working. That's when that comes in.
Therefore, it's the system, not wrong.
No.
Because justice knows that this person will commit robbery.
No, they do not.
Murder,
No, I'm sorry. No, the system is not wrong. You cannot hang a man for a crime that he's already been punished for. You cannot punish a man or a woman for a crime they've already been punished for. If the person
They
says...
might not have been punished for it. They might have been let off again and again and again.
Well, you see, Judith, this is where we have a difficulty, and we're going to have to end this conversation in a moment. But when you say lot off, do you mean they walked free from the court? You see, you seem to have this view, which is a general view, and it frightens me, but a lot of people have it, and that is that if you're charged, you're guilty. If you're found not guilty, you've been let off. That is not the case. If you're charged, you are innocent. If you are taken to court, you are innocent. If you go before the court, you are innocent. If the prosecution manages to convince the court beyond reasonable doubt that you are not innocent, you are guilty. But until that moment, until that jury or that magistrate, in the case of the lesser courts, actually comes to a decision that you are guilty, you're innocent. So if you go into court and the decision of that court is that you were not guilty, then you were innocent. You weren't let off at all. You were innocent. And the obligation is and should be on the prosecution to convince the court otherwise.
Well, okay then, you can turn it round another way.
There is no other way for it to go. That is the way it is.
If an innocent person goes to court and they find him guilty...
He goes to jail.
Yes, so sometimes the innocent are taking the rap for the guilty.
Indeed, that is so, and that is why I am against capital punishment, because sometimes the innocent do go to prison, because no process involving human beings can be infallible.
Yes,
and when we send those innocent people to prison, we at least have the opportunity to let them out again when we realise our mistake, assuming we do. But if we hang them, the opportunity of correction has gone. So I am against capital punishment.
So
I hope you are too now.
So therefore, the guilty can go free.
It is far better for justice, and I suggest for law, that an innocent person goes free rather than one guilty person go to prison. Sorry, I've got that wrong. A guilty person goes free rather than one innocent person goes to prison.
So it's better to let the guilty free and carry on doing what they are doing than let you can let an innocent person
Judith,
go
we
to
have to
prison.
go back to what is innocence and what is guilt. In the eyes of this country's judicial system, you are innocent until the prosecution convinces a court otherwise. That is the law. That is how it has always been for many generations, and I hope will be forever.
So, is there another solution?
Let me ask you, Judith, let me ask you one question, because we really are running out of time. And that is, who do you want to make the decision about whether the man or woman goes to prison or not?
Oh, no, I will not give you an answer on that.
In that case, good night. If you won't give me an answer to that question, we cannot proceed. Colin, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Allan.
Good, what do you want?
I was reading an article in the paper today by two psychiatrists who reckon that Madonna's stage act and records lead other women into prostitution and things like that.
Yes, well, that's what psychiatrists are for, you know, to make a lot of money for writing ridiculous articles in garbage newspapers.
I think it is really ridiculous.
Good. Good night. That's it. 5.5 minutes to 2. Time for me to go, he said, almost poetically, but not very funny.
For a tasty treat with a difference, try genuine Turkish kebabs from as little as £1.50 for a large Turkish doner kebab at the In-N-Out Kebab licensed restaurant and takeaway. Open every evening till 3 a.m. at 71A Dixon Road, Blackpool. That's the In-N-Out Kebab licensed restaurant and takeaway. Call in for a free taste.
That's it for the phone in. I'm going home in 5 minutes. I'm now the lucky one. Coming back in 20 hours' time. Thank you very much to Irene, who did a Trojan job this evening. She said I was being particularly nasty this evening. I thought I was being gentle. I obviously don't know.